when a casting director or a director or somebody in a movie or a television show asks you as a South Asian actor to talk like this, so like me and my friend Sakina Jaffrey would make fun of that, and we'd call it patanking, which is like, because to the white ear it sounds like patang, 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 right? And that's insulting, and I'm going to stop doing it. But the point is that we would get asked to do that a lot. You try to find a reason not to patank, like you try to be like, well, it says the character grew up in Milwaukee, so I don't know why. And they'd be like, yes, but you know, it's funnier that way. So when I got called to audition for The Daily Show, it was one of those weird days. I started the day off writing a letter to my ex-girlfriend because I found out that she'd gotten engaged, and I was really depressed about it. I got a phone call, and it was my manager saying The Daily Show wants you to audition. First of all, I was having a miserable day. Second of all, I thought The Daily Show was so far beneath me because I was like a trained actor. I'd studied Chekhov and Ibsen and Shakespeare. And so I walk in and there's Jon Stewart. He's really nice. And he says to me, you know, have you ever performed in front of a live audience? And I just looked at him with this contempt. And I said, dude, I've been on Broadway. And he was like, oh, okay, Mr. Broadway, all right, here we go. So I basically just did an impression of Stephen Colbert. John hired me right there in that moment. And then I was on that night on the show. Mostly I played a lot of Middle East correspondent, Muslim correspondent, brown correspondent, Indian correspondent. Before 9/11, I mean, I was Muslim in the sense that my family was Muslim, and you know, I came from that background, but it was just my religious identity, and most Americans couldn't tell the difference between Muslim and Muslim. After 9/11, then Americans started learning, like, oh, there are these Muslims out there, and they're terrifying people, and they've got to get us. And so then I really realized, like, oh my God, now suddenly I'm associated with this like religion that people have no knowledge or very little knowledge of and are demonizing. And so I pretended to be Jewish. Having that platform and being able to talk about America from the perspective of a Muslim American was kind of new, because there was so much fear-mongering, as there is today. I'm acting like this is something in the past when it's actually even more today than it was after 9/11. For me, ultimately, I see myself as a storyteller, and there are still stories that I want to tell that I feel like are not being told in the mainstream culture, and about people who we don't see represented in the mainstream culture as much. So as an actor and as a writer of color, somebody who's an immigrant, there are stories that I still want to tell, and that's really what excites me about the future. My name is Aasif Mandvi, and this is my brief but spectacular take on my story so far.